said it was supposed to rain today, although it's full-on sunlight, which is nice, I guess. And what's going on today? I guess it's kind of interesting. I read about that story of this Elroy Air that was coming out for things like drones and stuff like that. But apparently, I guess FedEx is going to be partnering with them. It says FedEx plans to test autonomous drone cargo delivery with Elroy Air. FedEx Express, a subsidiary of FedEx Corp and the world's largest express transportation company, is teaming up with California Bay Area-based Elroy Air. The company, building the first end-to-end autonomous vertical takeoff and landing aerial cargo system. As a first-of-its-kind agreement in the US, FedEx Express will develop plans to test Elroy Air's Chaparral autonomous air cargo system within the company's middle-mile logistics operations. And a refresher in terms of what they're using, it says Elroy Air announced its signature Chaparral autonomous aircraft in January 2022. The Chaparral aircraft is an eVTOL aerial cargo system that can autonomously pick up 300 to 500 pounds of cargo and deliver it by air up to 300 miles. The Chaparral is capable of longer range flights without the need for additional infrastructure, such as airports or charging stations. I guess the main thing will be regulations and stuff like that. Will they actually be able to fly this stuff, I guess, in certain areas? And I thought this was kind of interesting. It relates to that story recently where you read how Will Smith smacked Chris Rock on the Oscar stage. A lot of people are saying it's assault and all that. And apparently with the extra attention, apparently people were flying drones over Will Smith's home, I guess, to see what's going on. It says police visit Will Smith's LA mansion after reports of drone sightings over his home amid Chris Rock's slapgate at Oscars. According to Splash News, LA sheriffs were seen visiting the 53-year-old actor's Calabasas mansion at 2:40 p.m. on Tuesday. Deputy Lizette Salkin, a spokesperson for the LA County Sheriff's Department, told Page 6 that police arrived at Smith's house after someone reported a drone flying through the neighborhood. And it says here, "We just sent the unit over there to try to locate the drone and see if there was a paparazzi or what was going on," Ms. Salkin told the outlet. But when the deputies got there, they weren't able to locate the drone. It had already left the area. It made me think too, because in a lot of these cases, they end up being nothing, so there's no verification that there was a drone or whatever here. And it makes you wonder for a person like, say, Will Smith, who would probably normally would see like a drone, someone flying, and be like, oh, that's cool, whatever, I would assume anyways. But now with this situation, would a person be more paranoid whenever they see a quote drone because they're afraid it's monitoring them specifically? And still with that topic, one thing that was actually interesting that came up was how a lot of people expressed disbelief and concerns where even though he essentially assaulted the person on stage, most of the celebrities, and they say that the Academy, they kind of just treat it as, oh well, let's move on, whereas they would say in most cases the person would be charged or whatever, apprehended. So it was kind of interesting reading how some celebrities have been speaking out about it. For example, this one was going everywhere in terms of Jim Carrey, basically saying, I guess you could say he feels it's in a sense disgusting how everyone just kind of tolerated it. It's kind of an interesting perspective in the interview. You can kind of hear some of it here.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment.
So again, some people agree with that viewpoint, some don't. And what's even more interesting about this situation is it reminds me of just nowadays, it seems like when someone brings up an opinion, let's just say there's some kind of point in there, you should kind of just take it for what it is, analyze that point in general, versus, let's just say, attacking the person and discrediting them to try to, I guess, silence you, which is kind of what people are saying is happening now, where anybody who criticizes, I guess you could say, Will Smith, people are trying to, I guess, smear them or bring their past in. Like, for example, you can see like in social media, this person writes, "Twitter is making sure that every single celeb that speaks out against Will Smith does not prosper. We all got Jim Carrey, Zoe Kravitz, we all even snuck a Charmed one." So like with Jim Carrey, for example, in an award show before, he apparently went up and kissed like the actress who's way younger than her, and everyone was saying she's uncomfortable, she didn't want it and so forth. So it's kind of implying look at this creep. Should you even value his opinion? Like, you have no rights to even talk about this. Like, there again, it just seems like nowadays so many people can't actually focus on the actual topic. If you disagree with a point or something like that, then counter it. If it's infactual, it's inaccurate, then express why. If you feel, I don't know, psychologically it's justified, etc., then say why. But to always default by trying to attack the individual, to try to discredit them, to say, hey, like, don't pay attention and so forth. I don't know, I don't think that's the right way to go. It's kind of like all those other stories like recently of like what, quote, misinformation that ends up being true. Like there, it seems like the strategy is just keep smearing them and so forth, hide it, push it under a rug, and then afterwards, I don't know, it ends up being true. Like here again, I think it's a sign where, why don't people just focus on the topics and the points instead? Hey, see you guys later.